Sun trying to fight through the clouds. The good news is that the rains of the last few days seem to be behind us, so we'll play 2 games tonight here on the campus of Marian University. It's Crossroads League Baseball on the ISC Sports Network as Marian hosts St. Francis. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you. Jim, our chance to do a little college baseball. We frequently see high school softball and high school baseball together for NAIA and ISC. What are you looking forward to the most about tonight's game?
Well, just the elevated level of play. I mean, obviously not all high school players get to play college baseball. I don't know what the number is, 3 to 5% actually play in college from high school. So you're going to see better play. Should be a quick game. Should be a well-played game. We'll see what happens.
The way that works in the Crossroads League is with this doubleheader format. We will play 9 innings in game number 1. We will play 7 innings in game number 2. Here is the batting lineup of the visitors from Fort Wayne and St. Francis. That is Jaden Leppert. That is on your screen. Their starting shortstop. He will lead things off. Batting second will be David Miller. Miller is the right fielder for today's game. Xavier Croxton bats third. He is the center fielder. Sam Pesa is the designated hitter. Nick Parsons is at first base. Aiden Lichtensteiger is the third baseman batting sixth. Colton Cardenas bats seventh and plays left field. Jose Valdez Sandoval, who is not a stranger to us on the ISC Sports Network, young man from Frankfurt. He will be the second baseman batting eighth. And Eli Riley is the catcher. He will bat ninth in this game. The pitcher they'll be facing for Marian, well, he is the ace of this Marian staff. That is Damian Wallace, young man that literally grew up down the street, went to Cardinal Ritter High School. 2.39 is his ERA. This is the 8th time he has gotten the ball in a starting nod. He is 4-1. 49 innings pitched. He has walked 9. He has struck out 54. And opposing batters are hitting .212 against the former Ritter Raider, now Marian Knight. First pitch swinging as Lepper sprays that one foul, and we are underway at 5:56 for this first of 2 here at Marian University.
You know, Greg, it was just going to be a matter of time before the Cougars faced Wallace. He was set to start yesterday, but obviously the rain took care of that, so we see him today.
This one, line drive, and misses that one foul. 0-2 the count.
Quickly ahead here, we'll see if he has a strikeout pitch. See so many kids get ahead 0-2, 1-2, and then struggle to punch people out.
This one sails a bit high. The count goes to 1-2. This Marian team has had a rare length of break in terms of their spring baseball games are concerned. They have not played for a while. They will not play again until Monday. It was designed to have Easter weekend completely off in terms of Friday and Saturday games this weekend. It's going to be a very busy final 3 weeks of regular season play for Marian. They are set to play 21 games over the final 3 weeks of the season. Wallace hits the outside corner and has his 55th strikeout of the season, and there's one away.
Well, honestly, he just got tired of playing with him there. He came with 2 breaking balls, left both of them up. So he's going to have to make an adjustment there, either release point, stride, something. But after those 2 breaking balls, he's like, you know what, why don't we just kind of paint the outside corner and end this?
Forget the curveball, Ricky throwing the heater. David
right.
Miller steps to the plate. Certainly you notice David because of his size. It's 6'5" and 235. One of a handful of players from outside of the state of Indiana for this St. Francis ball club. He's from White Pigeon, Michigan. Played community baseball at Glen Oaks College in the state of Michigan. Far more options to play junior college sports in Michigan than you do in the state of Indiana.
And Wallace led him off with that breaking ball, brought it down just a little bit, so still trying to find the touch, and then came with the fastball outside.
Miller batting .232 on the season. Chases the letter high offering, and the count now goes to 1-2.
Be interesting to see what he does here in terms of Damian Wallace, just to see if he's going to try to continue to dial in that breaking ball or if he's just going to try to gas him outside.
High pop-up, right fielder. Has to find a little bit of a sun field, but that thing punched a hole in the clouds. He had time to go find it. That's Rivera out in right for Marian. Miller is retired, and there's 2 away. So Xavier Croxton now will come to the plate for St. Francis. St. Francis does a great job of keeping kids in the Summit City. He went to Southside High School, did Xavier. Starting center fielder. Croxton batting .344 on this season. Strike called. For St. Francis, this is game 31. For Marian, this is game number 29. And again, you'll play about 50 at this level. Wallace snares it. 1, 2, 3 in the top half of the first. The Marian Knights come to bat. When we come back, we are scoreless in the early stages of this twin bill from the Marian campus. Back after this on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
So Marian coming to bat for the first time here in the bottom half of the first inning. Let's bring you their lineup. Trey Heidlich, the senior from Batesville, will lead things off. The second baseman for Todd Bacon's squad with Marian. Cam Salazar from Wawasee, the shortstop, will bat second. Caden Jones, the DH, batting third. J.J. Rivera out in right field. Jackson Hogue is in left. Bryce Davenport from Moeller High School in Cincinnati will bat sixth. Dawson Estep played for his dad at University High School. He'll bat seventh. Caden Mason is in center field batting eighth. And Josh Lamb is the catcher for this Marian squad. The pitcher that they will be facing in today's contest is Darren Swanson. Swanson getting his sixth start of the season, his ninth appearance in total. He has thrown 24 1/3 innings on the campaign. He has given up 19 earned runs. He has walked 19. He has struck out 28. He's allowed 4 home runs, and his ERA is just a skosh above 7. So you and I were notating this kind of before the broadcast started. Marian is unquestionably throwing their ace in game number 1. St. Francis, frankly, they're not throwing their number 1 here in this first of 2 tonight.
Yeah, I kind of talked to you a little bit when I was a high school baseball coach and we would go into doubleheaders. There were times that I felt like if my ace went against your ace, your guy's better, you'll probably win. And then my number 2, there's a huge drop-off. We're probably not going to win that. So I would flip it. I would go ahead and take our number 2, hope to get, 5 or 6 good innings out of him, and then go with the ace in the second game.
The first couple of offerings miss high and away to Trey Heidlitz. Trey hitting .321 on the season. He has started every game this year as the former Batesville Bulldog. Young man that is planning to go into the military after his days are completed at Marian. In other words, he could kind of take the extra COVID year. He is not going to. He's going to enter the United States Navy when he is done with his playing days here on the near northwest side.
Well, and obviously, in my opinion, a fantastic choice. You go in as a second lieutenant, Officer Canada School, all that stuff. Great retirement at 20 years.
2 or 3 hopper, shortstop, got it. Easy toss over to first base. That's Lepper to Parsons, and there's one away.
So if he goes in at age 22 or 3, he can retire at 43. He doesn't have to. You can stay longer, obviously. But if you choose to do that, and a lot of guys and gals do, they'll retire at an early age, go get a second career, and basically retire twice and either collect 2 pensions or 2 401 type situations. Not a bad way to live the rest of your life.
Cam Salazar watches that one go by. It is a lefty-heavy lineup for Marian, and frankly, that might be the reason why Swanson's getting the start tonight for St. Francis. Get that lefty versus lefty matchup. That pours in for a strike, 1-1 the count.
Both night hitters have been very patient, just kind of looking for that first pitch strike, just trying to see what the pitcher's got, location.
It's in for a strike, 1-2 the count. Salazar batting .309. Marian as a team hitting .301. That certainly grabs your attention.
Very impressive.
Outside corner, got him. We, of course, like most broadcasters, sit behind home plate when we call a game, and we literally saw that ball move from, say, middle of the plate and just kind of tail out of the zone, but clip that corner on the way by, 2 down.
Yeah, I think Salazar just kind of gave up on it just a little bit, and again, tough call, but you got to at least try to get a bat on that thing and slap it foul and basically spoil the pitcher's pitch. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that.
Here's Caden Jones.
You got to like the way Swanson just attacking the plate. He's getting ahead of hitters, and it certainly doesn't look like a 1-4 guy or 1-3 guy.
Second verse, same as the first. Strike number 2.
Nice little breaking ball.
He's also pitching as if he thinks the MLB pitch clock applies to college baseball as well.
Pitching as if he's on fire.
When you have 16 innings to play today, we all appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Jones sprays that one foul. Young man from Crawfordsville High School. The Athenians, one of the year in, year out best programs in Indiana high school baseball. They take it seriously in Montgomery County.
Yeah, I used to know their head coach, and his name escapes me. He was there for years.
Coach Frogie?
That's it. I knew, again, it was a unique name. Yep.
We will have Crawfordsville next week when they play at Danville on the ISC Sports Network. This one sprayed foul. We'll do it again at 1-2.
And then Coach Frogie's daughter coached my daughter when she played high school softball at Heritage Christian. I don't know if she's still coaching or not, but kind of a neat little connection there for me.
Caden, a redshirt senior, batting .388. Swing and a miss, and both teams are retired in order to start their half of the first inning. Zeros on the board early here at Marian University, this Crossroads League doubleheader. We're back in a moment as you are watching on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
So to the top of the second we go. Pesa, Parsons, and Lichtensteiger, the trio of players due up for St. Francis. Greg Rakestraw and Jim Leisure with you here on the ISC Sports Network. Both pitchers, I should say, working very effectively here in the opening stages of this game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, to open up. Wallace, I think, threw 11 pitch or 14. I think it's right. 11 pitches in the first inning, and followed by Swanson, who threw 14. So very efficient. Throw strikes. Kids always want to go long. You know, in ball games, coach, I want to throw. You know, I want to go 7. Well, good, you know, keep your pitch count down and let's throw 7. It's not about the innings. It's about the pitches.
So Sam Pesa will lead things off here for St. Francis. He is the DH in tonight's contest. Another Fort Wayne native from Bishop Dwenger High School. He's batting .235 in the season, but has clubbed a team-high 6 home runs with 19 runs driven in. St. Francis 9-9 in Crossroads League play. That's good for 4th in the league. Indiana Wesleyan 19 league wins. Taylor 17, Huntington 15. Then a significant drop-off to St. Francis with 9. Marian right now slotted in 5th position in the league. That clips the outside corner for a strike.
Now, this Cougar baseball team does have 22 long balls on the season to go against 10 for Marian.
Another curve ball that slides across the edge of the corner. And the count is 0-2.
2 very good pitches. And if you're Wallace, you want to stay right there with your breaking ball.
Got him. Strike 3 called. Well, both pitchers are hitting that outside corner and getting that call, and both pitchers have a couple of Ks recorded so far. There's one away.
Well, command, obviously the ability to control the pitch, the location is so important, and sometimes pitchers have it, and sometimes they just simply don't. Sometimes it's cold, they don't have a good grip, they don't have a good feel in the baseball, can't feel the seams. But like you said, right now both pitchers seem to have that type of command.
Here's Nick Parsons. He's in for a strike. Parsons, a young man from Ontario. 6'3", 215-pound redshirt sophomore. Wallace's effort misses high and away. Parsons batting .314, 3 home runs, and 20 runs batted in this season. Slow breaking curveball that didn't get to the zone in time. Count it 2-1. This is originally slated to be a doubleheader yesterday and a doubleheader today. The second doubleheader will be rescheduled to a time at some point the next 3 weeks. Popped him up. Plenty of foul territory here. Not much was needed. As Davenport drifts over, and there's 2 down. But one thing to note of this field, again, it is pitcher friendly in terms of space in the outfield and space in foul territory. We're not talking Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, but it's close.
Right.
In terms of the space down the lines.
And again, Oakland Alameda is just notorious.
This one up the middle. Pitcher couldn't get it. Salazar does, and Lichtensteiger is retired. 1-6-3, and so far, Wallace has faced the minimum. We're through 1.5 here at Marian. Scoreless in this first of 2 on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work. It can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Let's thank our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew. Thank you to Vince Morales, Alex Laverne, David Kahn, Aaron Van Wolde, Chase Eisnagel, Daryl Tibbs, and the camera shot you are seeing is the handiwork of Rob Lynch for a second time in 3 days, high above the Marian University campus in our lift provided by our friends at McAllister's. 4, 5, and 6, Rivera, Hogan, Davenport coming up this time through for Coach Bacon's Marian University night squad. J.J. Rivera batting .295. A home run and 17 runs batted in this season. He's a young man that I think originally had been planning on potentially redshirting this year for the Knights as he takes this one opposite field. That'll get down for extra bases. I'll finish that story in a moment. And then that lush grass in early April, it hits the gap and stops. He'll take the leadoff double, and it's the first runner aboard for either team. This is a Marian team that has been ravaged by injuries this year. And as Rivera saw this team kind of going through it, again, his original idea was he's going to sit this year out in rehab, and early in the season says, all right, coach, let's play. So he's 100% at the plate. He's not 100% in the field, but you can tell there's nothing wrong with that swing that first time.
Not at all.
Through.
Again, the ball was actually on the inner half, and he still got his hands inside and kind of got it off the end of the bat, had a little tail away spin from the center fielder. And like you said, with the Masters starting up this week, that ball was just like you want it to do, stop right on the green.
Well, trust me, that is much thicker grass than anything at Augusta National.
I'm sure that it is. But I also think I wonder how much moisture is still out there, too, that kept that ball from really going anywhere, because it literally died when it hit the grass.
Here's Jackson Hogue. Misses high. We reference the fact that Parsons for St. Francis is a native of Canada. So is Hogue. He is from British Columbia. Played at Dodge City Community College in Kansas before coming here. And lashes this one foul. 2-1 the count. Jim, have you ever had the pleasure of going to Augusta National?
No, I have not. My father-in-law has actually played it. It's a long story, but he actually got to play the course, and that's a very, very unique opportunity for anybody, really. But no, I've never been down there for the tournament. 2-1
pitch. Some curves in there to right at the top of the zone. 2-2 the count. I was lucky enough to go attend practice rounds in 2002 and 2003. And I tell people a handful of things about that place whenever I get the opportunity to do so. First time that either pitcher has worked out of the stretch, no problem. It is a strikeout, a third of 4 putouts so far against this Marian squad. Runner on second and 1 away.
Well, just to be very brief with the story, my guy owed my father-in-law a huge, huge favor. That guy knew a club member at Augusta and said if you'd want to come down and play, and my father-in-law described it as a religious experience.
Here's Davenport. Ball blocked by the catcher, no advance. Want to know the count. Let's tell people it's even hillier than it looks on TV.
Mm-hmm.
The undulations are amazing at that place. And 2, it is the greenest green you have ever seen in your life. There is not a speck of dirt, a blade of grass that is out of place. And there is not a thick amount of rough on anywhere in the course. That's why I said grass here is a little bit thicker than you see at Augusta this time of year.
Yeah, you know, it reminds me of, in the old days when before color TV and people would watch baseball on TV, it was black and white. They would go to the game and they would talk about coming out of the tunnel and seeing the sea of green.
Sure. Davenport swings and misses, elevated fastball, 1-2 the count. Davenport batting .286. This is his 24th start of the season. 2 home runs and 18 runs batted in. That one tails high, 2-2 the count.
Good pitch by Swanson. You know, again, just sometimes it's hitters are just dying to swing, so let them get themselves out. Here you go, swing at this.
Just broke a little bit late. Well, it kind of gotten through the zone before it nestled into the glove of the catcher. Davenport last year, second team all-league. Payoff pitch and chased one. We'll make that 4 Ks so far for Swanson and 6 batters faced. And here comes Dawson Estep to the plate.
Batting for the Knights, third baseman, number 6, Dawson Estep.
Estep. It's been a struggle at the plate for Dawson. Batting a .137. This is his 14th start of the campaign. And that tails away. Dawson spent some time at a handful of different community colleges before making his way to Marian. Chases again the elevated fastball, 1-1 the count.
Always a tough one to catch up to if you can stay away from the high fastball. There are some people that can hit them. There aren't many.
2-1 the count. Dawson's mom and dad run the Round Tripper Baseball Academy in Westfield.
The last pitch really got away from Dawson. You saw him, basically blow into his hand, which the umpires are allowing due to the weather.
Well, Estep has watched a couple of pitches exit the zone. Has the count in his favor here now at 3-1.
Yeah, and it's got to be your favorite pitch here. I mean, again, you'll take the walk if you can get it. Otherwise, you see something you like, just like that. That was a good pitch.
Yep.
And it was a good hitter's pitch. Go ahead and take a rip at it. But that was all you were looking for. If it wasn't there, take it, and we'll bat 3-2.
Estep keeps the inning going. Caden Mason awaits on deck. And that one didn't threaten the zone. So Estep will work a walk. That's the first walk issued by either pitcher today.
That's good at bat.
Now batting for Marian, center fielder, number 4, Caden Mason.
Swanson has walked now 20 batters in 26 innings pitched. So you can tell that maybe consistently finding the zone has been an issue for Swanson this year. First pitch swinging, right center field, right fielder drifting over and makes the play, and the inning is over. A double and a walk, but nobody gets past second base for the Knights. We are through 2 in this first of 2 from Marian this evening. Scoreless on the ISC Sports Network.
Does your school offer high-quality education? Does it offer virtual or hybrid options? Marian University Preparatory School educates students in a safe, faith-based environment focused on college and career exploration. Here at Marian University Preparatory School, we empower parents and help students to master what they love and learn as they live. We are now enrolling students in grades 6 through 9 this fall. Full financial aid packages are still available. Act now to make MU Prep your school for 2022.
As always, thanks to good folks from Marian for having us out tonight. We were here for Marian softball on Tuesday. They swept a pair from Taylor. Won 2-0 to the softball team against St. Francis earlier today. And currently lead 3-2 in the second half of their twin bill in the top of the 5th. If they can hang on to that win, softball team will have picked up a 27th consecutive victory. Here the baseball team also playing St. Francis tonight. They are scoreless in the top of the 3rd. Again, alongside Jim Leisure, Greg Rakestraw with you. 7, 8, and 9 led by Colton Cardenas. We'll lead things off this time through. Cardenas, a young man from Chesterton High School in the region.
Part of the little chess game that goes on between pitchers and hitters, a pitcher's thinking, okay, I got 7, 8, and 9. I need to get these 3 guys out. We don't want to roll it up into the next the next second time through the order. And if you're a coach, you always tell your kids, we win when we get production out of 7, 8, and 9. If we get 1 or 2 of these guys on and get 1 and 2 up and knock them around, that's how you win baseball games.
Cardenas, 7 runs batted in, batting .240. First pitch, bell tie fastball. 0-1 the count. Clearly something that Wallace has been doing well has been getting in front of hitters. Has had no problem challenging them with a fastball. Another fastball poured in. This is sprayed foul. Last year, Wallace, a .692 ERA. And had a 4-6 record. Went the distance twice a season ago, did Wallace. The 0-2. Curveball that exited the zone quickly. And the count at 1-2.
Yeah, I don't want to call that a waste pitch necessarily, but, it was a pitch that, again, he was more than happy to have it kind of leave the zone early and just see if the hitter would offer.
Good discipline by Cardenas. Again, that ball did leave the zone, but it stayed in his zone a little longer than the last offering.
Yeah, a little better than the last one. And again, that's good pitching when you can just kind of walk it back just inch by inch.
And from 0-2 to 3-2.
Goes back again to that command. I mean, it's the ability to control the location. And the really, really, really good ones like Maddox. I mean, he would start on the outside corner, and by the 6th inning, he was throwing it in the dugout, and they were still calling it.
Ground ball, foul ball. So we'll do it again. This is the longest at bat that the St. Francis player has had against Wallace so far. And we'll point out the stat that we threw your way to begin the broadcast. Wallace has walked 9 batters this season. And he has now pitched north of 50 innings on the season. In other words, Cardenas should expect a pitch to hit here.
Absolutely. And again, if I'm coaching Wallace, I'm saying just go after him. Don't give in here. You don't have to get real cute.
Sprays it foul.
Good job by Cardenas, again, by just spoiling that pitch. Love the battle here from Cardenas, and kids don't do it anymore. They refuse. I would choke up just an inch, just an inch. I'm not talking about Ron Hunt of the old Montreal Expos. I'm talking about an inch.
Ball 4. Great at bat by Cardenas. So first runner of the game for St. Francis is a bases on balls, and a rare one. And it's a leadoff man aboard as well. So Jose Valdez-Sandoval now will step to the dish for St. Francis. Again, the former Frankfurt hot dog.
First the middle infielders in will play 2 in and 2 over, double play depth.
If I'm the third baseman, I'm taking about 5 steps in about right now.
One thing I did notice, Greg, they've only got, I think, speaking of St. Francis, they've only got like 6 sacrifice bunts on the season. They just don't do it a lot. I think it's either sabermetrics or the Earl Weaver belief of the game that you just don't give away outs.
Obviously, you're going to see more of that in Major League Baseball now because of the rules changes preventing the shift, pitch clock, etc. In the previous setup, you understood why that part of the game had been the 3 true results, the walk, the strikeout, the home run.
Sure.
That has not carried over to college baseball for the most part. It's still been a game where you move people over. 6 and then 4. Can Heilich get him in time? He does. Double play. Well, the reason, I had alluded to, if I were the third baseman, I'd be taking about 5 steps in, is the reason why I think I would have put the bunt down if I were St. Francis.
Not a question. I mean,
I never had a chance to get to it. Valdez-Sandoval, not just the double play, he's batting $130 on the year.
Well, yeah, but again, it's philosophical coaches, differences. It's like, listen, I'm just not giving away outs. You're going to have to turn that double play. You're going to have to, a 6-4-3, if you got a decently fast runner, it's difficult to turn. So you know what? I'll gamble that you can't do it probably any better than my guy can't bunt. So let it play.
Here's Eli Riley. Eli is from a town in Indiana that I did not know existed. Now, you know my knowledge of this state. That's rare, right?
Right, I agree.
He is from Zanesville, Indiana. Now, the high school he went to, I've heard of. That would be Norwell, because they have recently produced 2 Major League Baseball players at Norwell High School.
Norwell Knights, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So I've heard of them, too.
Jared Parker, Josh Van Meter have both played in the majors out of that great program in the last 15 years. Ground ball. Salazar gobbles it up, rifles it over. Davenport out of the dirt, and through 3, the minimum has been faced by Wallace. He has walked 1, yet to give up a hit. Scoreless through 2.5 at Marian on the ISC Sports Network.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. They've been in business over 35 years. I'm here with Joe Polizzi to talk emergency services. Now, Joe, when I set my house on fire with a toaster, you were actually in my yard before the firefighters left.
Well, Pat, I remember that call like it was yesterday, and although I was disappointed that it was yours, I was happy that I was going to be able to provide some assistance.
You know, this true story, a firefighter actually told me I needed to call someone for emergency services, kind of obvious, and I told him Michaelis was on the way. He said, great, because they're the real deal. Joe, now what do you do in these situations when you show up?
Well, we try to be a calming influence, and we try to find out what the needs are of the family. Everybody's needs are different. Everybody's desires are different. What we try to do is match what we could provide with what they need and do it very smoothly.
I've lived it. If you find yourself needing emergency restoration service in the wake of a fire, flood, or storm, give the Michaelis Corporation a call anytime, 24/7, 844-FIX-INDY.
See Cato Wagner Hall just across the street from the right field line here at Marian University. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you. This portion of our game presented by our friends at AAA Roofing. When it rains, it pours, so trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That's who we call. You know, that line resonates with me more during the softball and baseball broadcast we do during the rest of them, the course season. Let's hope it doesn't rain. And the forecast says for a week it's not supposed to.
Well, and all the rain we've had recently, my wife and I noticed a leak in our roof dripping into our kitchen, so we're going to give them a call and see if they can come out and find out what's wrong and hopefully fix it cheaply.
Here is Josh Lamb, redshirt freshman from Hammond Morton High School. Nickname quiz. Nickname at Hammond Morton is?
The Governess.
Nicely done. That's well played by you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well, I know their coach, Coach Richard, used to be their head football coach for years. It's actually the Governors, but I always say the Governess.
I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt, the colloquialism.
Yeah, correct. It would be the Beatles pronunciation, I guess.
For Lamb, getting just his 4th start of the year. He's had all of 12 at-bats, has 4 hits, 3 runs batted in. Taken all the way that time. And really, again, in talking with Coach Bacon before the game, you know, Lamb's kind of 3rd on their catching depth chart, but again, they've had so many injuries that he's getting the opportunity.
Nice at bat for the 8-hole. Again, get 8, 7, 8, and 9 on. Get them around and get them in. That's how you win games.
Courtesy runner is going to come in here. Rader will come in to run for Lamb. So Lamb can focus his attention on his catching duties. And we talked about, hey, do you start moving runners over if you're St. Francis? They didn't hit into a double play. Now with Heidlich, do you start thinking that way if you're the Marian Knights?
I'm looking at Heidlich on the season, and he's got 1 sacrifice bunt credited for 1. Now they do, again, they don't mind laying it down.
Had the pleasure of calling Trey playing 3 different sports in his days at Batesville High School. He's a fantastic quarterback in his days with the Bulldogs.
Another thing to consider now, and of course, a little hindsight with it being 2-0. On the other hand, the pitcher hasn't really found the plate, so why give him an out? Why not just stand there and let him walk you again?
Heidlich, a ground ball to shortstop his last time up. Ground ball. 3rd baseman. 2nd one. On to 1st. Got him. Both teams a successful turn in the 3rd inning. 2 down.
Now batting for Marian, number 25, Cam Salazar.
Heidlich hustling down the line. Good turn. Lichtensteiger over at 3rd base. To Valdez Sandoval at 2nd. It's Parsons at 1st base. Salazar struck out looking on a nasty curveball and
starts him with the same pitch.
You know, lefties have just some natural or unnatural movement, depending on, you know, how you want to clarify it. And that fastball, there are times it just kind of tails going in both directions from Swanson. And Salazar finds himself in an 0-2 predicament. First pitch kind of tailed on his hand. 2nd pitch broke away. This one more of the straight line variety and just a bit high. Stay alive swing from Salazar.
And that was actually the last time he batted when he struck out looking. I said, you know, it's close enough. Throw the bat at it. See if you can't just slap it up the left field line and foul and play again.
Again. A little bit more of that one. Did Camp. Salazar on the season batting .309. This is his 21st start of the year. There's 4 runs batted in. Field will hold this one. Left fielder was drifting that way and a step into foul territory. Play is made by Cardenas, and for a 4th time, or a 2nd time rather, for each team, side retired in order through 3. Scoreless here at Marian and Crossroads League action on the ISC Sports Network.
Marian University is like a home to me.
Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
The sounds of AC/DC in the background. We welcome you back to the campus of Marian University.
Good shot of the bag there. You know, the college game not gone to the Major League table of 4 at Applebee's size bases. I was actually at an Indians game a couple years ago and just noticed it. I asked my son-in-law, I'm like, those bases look bigger to you? He's like, no. Went home and checked it, and yes, they were experimenting in the minors before moving it to the majors. So still the 15-inch bag there as opposed to the 18-inch that you'll see on professional baseball.
Frankly, I like every rule change that Major League Baseball has made. It promotes more activity, promotes more steals.
Yeah.
And something that I think has happened to be catching part of the marquee broadcast of Reds and Cubs earlier this week. And it was very fitting because Cliff Floyd was injured at a play at first base in his playing days. He's now part of the Cubs studio coverage. And they've been talking about putting like the safety bag at first base. That way, you know, you don't have that potential collision at first. I thought that was a great idea, too.
It is a fantastic idea, but unfortunately professional baseball has been slow to change anything, and I mean for decades.
But they're changing everything now, seemingly.
Right.
So here's Lepper.
But, you know, when batting helmets first came into vogue in, like, the 50s, there were a lot of players that were like, no, that ain't the way the game's played. I'll go up there with my wool cap as protection.
It's in for a strike. Lepper, a strikeout victim, his first time up.
Actually, a trivia question, I think, Greg. Who was the last major leaguer that had been grandfathered in, did not have to wear a batting helmet?
This might take a while. Sprayed foul. This one will.
I'll give you an era, early 70s. You know, those players who refused to do it were grandfathered in, didn't have to if you didn't want to.
Give me a team.
Detroit Tigers.
Al Kaline.
No.
Okay. Norm Cash.
You are correct, sir.
Getting it on the second try, that was pretty good. Ground ball to the second baseman. Heidlich gobbles that one up. Lepper hustling down the line, but plenty of time for Heidlich, and there's one down.
Yeah, and again, it was just one of those deals where I guess a comfort thing more than, but some of it was too kind of a macho thing. You know, I don't need no head protection. I'm a man. Well, you're also a foolish man if you don't go up there with some protection. But guys held out.
Here's David Miller. Miller, a fly ball to high right field his first time through. And this one's sprayed foul.
And you mentioned it, too, the first time. Boy, he is just a really big kid. He's got a tight end look to him, doesn't he? Tight end, maybe defensive end. He might even be too tall to be a defensive end.
Coaching staff at St. Francis, I'm sure, might have a conversation with Mr. Miller at some point in time. Of course, that has been Marian's longest-standing football rival.
Right.
And playing football at St. Francis in 1997. Here at Marian in 2007. Both these programs national champions in football over the years. Playing the Franciscan Bowl every year, a game that we televised from Bishop Darcy Stadium at St. Francis in October on the ISC Sports Network.
Miller does a good job there, just waiting on that pitch, waited till the last second. He was able to get out of the way of it. But certainly going to watch the ball in as long as he humanly can, all the way in the back of the box.
Turns on this one. Right fielder backing up. Right fielder at the wall, and that one is gone. The first hit of the game for St. Francis exits the building. Miller goes big fly, and the Cougars have a 1-0 lead.
Well, he got those big arms out there extended, Greg, and just turned on it. And, again, as you see him coming down the third base line, just a pretty massive human being here. You see he gets a turn. Nice job, stays balanced. He's going to go ahead and initially out of the box act like he doesn't know it's gone, but I think he probably did. That ball was long gone.
For Damian Wallace, that is the first home run he has allowed this season. He has now thrown over 52 innings. So it's a 1-0 game.
And if you're Coach Bacon, you're just going to say, well, you know what, son, just forget it. The most important pitch is the next one. Refocus. Let's get after some people.
For Miller, that's his 4th of the season. Well hit. Left fielder broke in for a second, but able to recover and make the play. Out in left for Marian. That is Jackson Hogue, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, Hogue did not get a great jump there. His first step was kind of that drop step with his left foot back, but he didn't seem to be in a lot of hurry. I would imagine the center fielder, Caden Mason, was probably yelling, back, back, back. Dude, you're not going back fast enough. Good communication, and was able to come back and recover and make the play.
Here's Payson. Struck out to start the 2nd inning. Curveball snapped in there by Wallace. 0-1 the count.
Dropped him to his knees.
Both teams with 1 hit so far in this game. Both have been for extra bases. Counted 0-2.
Another breaking ball there.
Second verse, same as the first, and he did go, no doubt about that. Inning is over. But 1 big swing has accounted for all the runs so far in this game. St. Francis enjoying a 1-0 lead going to the home half of the 4th on the ISC Sports Network.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you. Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Marian Baseball on the ISC Sports Network, presented in part by our friends at Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi is a proud partner of Marian University Athletics. Swanson now staked to a 1-run lead. We talked about, Wallace unquestionably is the ace. Swanson maybe not so much, but he has shown some ace-like stuff in today's game. He has given up a double. He has walked 2, but got a timely double play, and now pitches from in front for the first time today. So here's Caden Jones. Struck out to end the first. This one hopped to home plate.
And as a pitcher, you just got to basically block all that out. All that matters right now is this frame, getting these 3 guys out, and do that long enough and quick enough, and perhaps that 1 run will hold up. We'll see.
Count it 2-0. Jones, Rivera, and Hogue, the trio of Marian players, do up this go-round. Jones got an accurate stitch count on that one, 3-0. You would think even the number 3 hitter is taken all the way, and Swanson didn't get much to think about. So a leadoff walk for a 2nd inning in a row, and at some point that will come back to bite you.
Yeah, it's funny about walks, Greg, and you know this. You've played enough baseball and certainly seen enough. Guys who walk have a tendency to come all the way around and score. Now, you may lead off an inning with a double where the guy just knocks the fence down and he's stranded at second base. But walks have a tendency to come around. I don't know why. I'm not sure why one does and one doesn't.
That one, third baseman, nice play. Good-looking arm, but didn't get him in time. Base hit.
Yeah, from the indication from the umpire, he did not wave it off saying he was off the bag.
Right.
So he's basically, then you got to believe that he beat it out.
I think that was Rivera hustling down the line. It's a good play by Lichtensteiger. If he doesn't make that play at third, runner is sitting at third base. Just couldn't get the throw in time. So here's Hogue. Hogue, a senior. It's his third year on the Marian campus. Now he's played at over 100 games as a Knight. That's Jackson. Struck out last time up.
Well, Knights hitters are really making making Swanson work here.
Fishing on that
yeah,
one.
I was going to say may have fished a little bit there. Prior to that, you know, they were being very very patient.
Ground ball. Valdez Sandoval. Bad throw. Does not get the runner at second base. Runner will stay at third, but now you got runners caught up. And Jones now will take off, and somebody's hung out to dry. He at least does his job to get runners to second and third. He really has nowhere to go. And knowing that probably Rivera is the better runner, he'll just kind of stop.
Yeah, really nowhere to go. Catcher played that nicely there. Eli Riley just kind of said, where are you going to go? I mean, there's a guy on third, so I guess you could have started it all back, runner on second, go back to first, but no. Just come on, man. Just get yourself out. There we go.
So first out, and again, Jones had stopped at third. Rivera thought he was going to take off, and Rivera kind of forced the issue there. Hogue officially gets credit for a fielder's choice in that scenario. And the infield will play in with runners at second and third, and only one out. And Davenport got tied in knots on the fastball in his hands, 0-1 the count. Davenport, he too a strikeout victim his last time up. Letter high fastball.
Had a nice rip at it. Infield in here.
Good heat for 0-2, but never came close to the zone.
A good spot.
Yep.
I mean, just go ahead and throw it there. So the Cougar infield is in. Obviously, you're only in for one reason. That's cut down the run.
Ground ball, foul ball. We'll do it again at 1-2.
You know, I always hated it as a coach when ball be hit right to the second baseman, the shortstop, and they would act confused.
This early in the game, would you have pulled your infield in like
I don't
this?
know.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah. I don't know that one run's gonna hold up.
They can back up now. There's two down.
Yeah.
First strikeout since the second. Fifth in total. Authored by Swanson. And E-Step now, who drew a walk his last time up. A chance to be a run producer.
Oh, Swanson gets out of this. I mean, you got to be, Coach Butcher, you got to be pleased with what he's given you so far.
Also means you would have stranded 4 runners in the first 4 innings and gotten out of 2 scenarios where he had 2 runners on the base paths without giving up a run.
And just kind of overthrew that one there.
Well, to some degree, he's been a little bit effectively wild in terms of the zone. You know, he's walked 3 so far. At this point, no damage done.
Of course, Dawson E-Step would like to change that channel if he can.
1-2. Stays alive on that one, as that one is sent foul.
Sometimes these types of at-bats, Greg, where a guy just battles and battles and battles, it ends in a little flare that just gets over the infield, and with 2 outs, runners move and scores both runs.
Foul ball. He's up working from behind. He was ahead the entire count the first time through. If E-Step can keep the inning going, Caden Mason awaits on deck. Hop to home plate. Good job by the catcher and Riley. Because if that gets by him, I think Rivera gives it a shot.
Oh, yeah. You got to take that chance. You're going to see this really nice job of, again, not trying to backhand the ball in the dirt. You know, get that glove around, get over in front of it, let it hit you in the chest protector. If you're leaning forward, it normally drops harmlessly in front of you.
Count full 3-2.
This has been a really good at bat for E-Step. Let's see if he can make it a great one. And if you're Swanson, you want to punch him out right here.
Not close.
Nope, overthrew it.
So make that walk number 4. 4 walks and 5 Ks in 16 batters faced. Here comes Mason. Caden played at Terre Haute North High School. We're going to have a quick conversation. First kind of pitcher and coach meeting we have seen so far today. Mason batting .354. His 22nd start of the season. Has played in all games but 2. This Marian Knights program. Does not have a home run. Does have 14 runs batted in. Does Caden.
Well, what a luxury to have an 8-hole that bats .354 with 14 RBIs. Obviously, guys are getting on in front of him.
Mason last year played in 44 games, was a frequently used reserve, made 19 starts a season ago.
All he needs is a little line drive somewhere. Gap, line, runners moving on contact.
Not close. 1-0. There's a chance Marian could get a run or two on the board without benefit of a base hit. 2-0 the count.
All right, this is where you want to be now. This is your favorite pitch. If you're Caden Mason, you're looking for something you can drive. If you don't get it, stay off. Just don't swing.
And they're about to get bullpen activity underway for St. Francis. Foul tip. Count it 2-1. Andrew Kent will start to loosen momentarily for the Cougars. That one had some wicked dive to it. If Mason had swung, he simply would have pounded that one into home plate. So he lets that one go by for a strike. And Swanson now is a pitch away from getting out of a largely self-manufactured problem. And good job by Riley to stay in front of that. Count runs full, so
yep, here we go.
Everybody gets a head start here. Perhaps the most pivotal moment of this game is about to happen. Ground ball. Easy hopper to the shortstop. Mason hustling down the line, but nice arm shown by Leppert. And the bases are left loaded for Marian. We are through 4 on the near northwest side of Indianapolis. Cougars lead the Knights 1-0 on the ISC Sports Network.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Parsons, Lichtensteiger, and Cardenas, the trio of Cougar players, due up in the top of the 5th inning. 1-0. They are leading in this doubleheader. Game number 1 on the ISC Sports Network. I want to thank our friends at BSN Sports. They are the preferred provider of apparel for Marian University Athletics. Thank you, Bob Kaiser and company, and all the good folks at BSN. 1 hit so far for St. Francis, but happened to be a solo blast by David Miller in the top of the 4th inning. Down the right field line that has led us to a 1-0 scenario here in the top of the 5th. This is the first of 2 doubleheaders we'll showcase for Marian baseball this year. Another one being on April the 28th, which is remarkably the final regular season weekend for the Knights. They'll play Huntington 2 games on Friday and Saturday of that weekend, and it's the conference baseball tournament the weekend that follows. Here's Parsons. Foul ball to Davenport at first base, his first time up. That one just missed the outside corner.
Parsons with those really high hands above the top of the batting helmet.
Turns on this one. Fair ball inside the bag. That'll be extra bases. Left fielder hustling over. Parsons will take the two-bagger. Second time the leadoff man has been aboard for St. Francis today.
You see the ball there, just gets over the inside corner of the bag there. And the thing about Parsons, again, all hitters do this, but he starts real high, but when the pitcher starts to wind up, he gets those hands in a launching position. He doesn't leave them up there above his head. He brings them down to just about shoulder width or shoulder height. And this young man's batting with his hands low, but he'll get them up into that launch position as the pitcher winds.
Lichtensteiger into right center field, tailing at the center fielder. That'll get down. Parsons had to hold for a moment, throw at second base, and now because it's going to second, they try to get him at home and they don't. Slid around the tag. It was a late decision to go from third to home by Parsons. And once the throw went to second, Parsons elected to try to get his luck at home plate. We'll get a good look at it here.
Nice job. Gets the left hand out of the way and comes around with the right hand. And now one of the things that I thought Parsons kind of hesitated a little bit on the base pass, he had that play. All you got to do is turn around and look at it. There was really no chance for the center fielder to make that play. He should have probably been heading a little more toward third, hopping that way as that ball was in flight.
So back-to-back doubles, 2-0 St. Francis. Big sweeping curveball that Cardenas watches go by. Signals one more time.
Pulls the left hand back.
Close. You're right. He does a good job of pulling that hand back. Only question you would have is that did he kind of get that shoulder kind of as that knee was getting to home plate?
Well, and again, if he goes in with his left hand, he's out.
Correct.
And the tag will just be right there, but he does a nice job. And obviously that's the way you coach it now.
And we have the luxury of viewing that as many times as we want to. Home plate umpire doesn't get that. That one is sprayed foul. 1-2 the count. Great look from our third base camera. You see, my only question would be, and again, by no means I'm saying it's a bad call.
Right.
It's very tough to call. But because he was kind of late to get that right hand on the home plate, it's tough.
Well, in my opinion, if he had ran the bases a little better from second base, it wouldn't even been close.
Correct. Good job by Cardenas to hold up on that. Down at 2-2. In other words, if this were MLB and we had a replay challenge, I'm not sure the call would change in either direction. Bang, bang, play.
Yep. I mean, again, unless you have irrefutable evidence or whatever, I mean, that was too close to call. There's no clear play there, so the call in the field stands.
Foul tip, late decision to swing it. Going at that to stay alive.
Good job, though, keeping the hands back on the breaking ball. And, again, just got enough of it to stay alive. Would like to square it up.
So 3 base hits today for St. Francis. All have been for extra bases. That one exits the zone. Then the count runs full. This is the first time that St. Francis has had multiple runners on the base paths in the same inning. 1 walk, 3 hits, 2 runs to show for it for the Cougars. And Cardenas, well done. So he is the player that has earned both walks issued by Wallace today. Here comes Valdez Sandoval to the plate now.
Really, really good patience there by Cardenas. That was a very, very close pitch. Tough one to take, really, but he guessed right, and he's standing at first base.
Davenport coming in now. Valdez Sandoval shows bunt. He's taken all the way. That's in for a strike.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, did not appear to be horribly interested in bunting.
Into a 6-4 3-double play did Valdez Sandoval his last time up. Davenport ready for a bunt again. Valdez Sandoval shows, puts it down. First baseman's got it. Throws to second base to get the sure out to Heidlich. Sacrifice recorded 3-4, and there's runners at second and third with one down.
You know, Greg, the way I used to teach bunting is, because no kid wants to bunt, so we would have them go up to the box with their gloves. And I could say, we'd have the pitching machine up there and say, just stand there like a hitter, but catch the ball.
Yep.
Catch the ball with your glove. And then I would take a bat and show them that the barrel of a bat is about the same size as the pocket of a glove. So if you can catch a baseball with a glove, you can catch it with a bat. If you can't do it, it's because you don't want to do it. All right, and if guys don't want to do it, then you can sit over here next to me and watch the game, and we'll get guys out there that want to do it and can do it. I liked to bunt when I coached. I didn't do it a lot. You know, I mean, I wasn't like these guys who just totally gave away outs. There's good spots for it, and we'll see if this pays off for St. Francis.
Infield all playing in here for Marian. You have to with trailing 2-0 here in the top of the fifth. Fastball in for a strike.
Certainly don't want it to get away from you too badly if you can. Now, of course, the flip to that is you take a hitter that's maybe batting, 200 and make him a 300 hitter by bringing him in. But that's the price you pay for having runners on base.
Ground ball. Try to tag run at third. They do. That's E-step. And immediately you see kind of the hand on the forehead from Lichtensteiger saying, why did I do that?
Well, it obviously wasn't a contact play because if it was a contact play, he'd been thrown out at home. Yeah.
Good job by E-step to handle that. Courtesy runner coming in here for St. Francis with Riley being the catcher. So Brendan Lytle will now run for the Cougs with 2 down. Here's Lepper, who is 0 for 2, a strikeout to begin the game, and a ground ball to Heidlich at second, his first time through. Got away from the catcher. Runner will try to advance and throw a little bit wide. So wild pitch. And Cardenas is in at third.
I love the aggressiveness. Cardenas takes his secondary lead, and again, we used to like to try to put pressure on the defense the same way. You're watching the trajectory of the pitch. You're watching the catcher. If he's sliding out there, if he blocks it, it stays in front of him, stay where you're at. If it gets away from him at all, go. If he can get up off his knees and throw a strike to third, hats off to you. Most kids can't. We'll take the chance.
Lepper batting .367. Of the regular rotation players, by far the best on the Cougar lineup. Lepper 3 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Runner goes. They will throw through, and
just a miscommunication.
Yep. Heidlich and Salazar both kind of let it split the difference, and with that, a run earned on the double steal attempt by St. Francis, and make it 3-0 for the visitors.
Yeah, there's lots of different plays you can put on there on the first and third, and, you practice them all. But it looked to me like the second baseman was coming downhill toward the plate, was going to cut that thing, give up the base, keep the runner at third, and at the last second, he let it go, and the shortstop didn't know he was going to let it go, and it went out in center field. There are a lot of, again, you can concede the base, don't throw anything. You can fake a throw to second, try to throw back behind third. You can actually just try to get the out.
Taken all the way at 3-0 was Lepper as that one goes by. As this marks the third trip through the lineup now for St. Francis. First really big inning for either team in today's game. And this one sprayed foul. But he lost him.
First and third again, as offensive player or as an offensive coach, you love first and third. You can put a lot of, you're going to look at that home run swing again.
That was the young man that is coming to the plate right now. His last time at the dish. Exited the building.
Of course, everybody in the building knows that. Josh Lamb, the catcher for Marian, out to communicate the first and third play.
See how aggressive St. Francis gets in this scenario with Miller at the plate. Inside corner for a strike.
Oh, I think I let him swing the bat. I don't think I play any games at all. Again, we're either going to change the play or reaffirm what we had called if you're Marian.
A home run by Miller, his 4th of the season. Turns on this one again. Right fielder watches it go by again. 3-run blast. That one crossed the street. 6-0 St. Francis.
Boy, and there was just, again, absolutely no doubt about that when he just unloaded. He was looking for a certain pitch in a certain spot. He got it, and he just turned on this thing. And that cleared the street. It's one. I don't know if it hit the building or not. May have kind of hit just in front of it here. We'll see if we can follow it. Yeah, one hop the building there.
I would assume that is something north of 400 feet that ball just traveled down the right field line. And all of a sudden, bullpen activity is about to get started for Marian. Because this has gone from a pitcher's duel to all of a sudden a rather comfortable margin for the visitors from Fort Wayne. So we are seeing Wallace struggle unlike he has done at any point in time this year. Again, he came in having walked 9 batters the entire season. He's walked 3 today. He had not allowed a home run in 49 innings. He has now allowed 2 to the same player in back-to-back innings.
Yeah, if you look at the pitching matchups coming into this thing, you kind of figure the other way, really. You would think that maybe Wallace pitches well and Swanson struggles a little bit. He's the one that walks a lot of guys and has the 1-3 record, but it's really been the other way around. Wallace has not been real sharp, but he's been able to get out of jams.
Just off the outside corner. Xavier Croxton hit it well last time, but Hogue was able to snare it in left field. Tapper back to the pitcher in his previous plate appearance. Skies this one. E-step chases, but no way he's tracking that one down. The count at 1-2. Still got 5 trips to the plate for Marian, trying to make up this now 6-run deficit. In this first of 2 tonight. Again, we played 9 the first game, 7 in game number 2. So the last foul. Croxton batting .344 on the season. 4 home runs and 24 runs batted in. One slipped out of the hands of Wallace. Count it 2-2. Sky high pop up, that'll fall behind us.
Pitch count really starting to kind of add up a little bit here. Wallace was cruising along early.
Yeah.
Right now, he just wants to punch out. He just wants to go sit down, get a drink of water, take a couple deep breaths, talk to the coach, figure out what we're going to do in the next inning, whether we're going to run back out there for another one or not. But right now, I mean, you can almost see the frustration in his body language. He just wants to get out of this inning.
Good long at bat.
Yeah. Xavier Croxton just being an absolute pest. Saying, you know what? The more you want out of this inning, the more I want you to stand out there and throw me pitches.
Most earned runs that Wallace has allowed to start this year is 3. And because of that throwing error at second base, that kind of is a similar scenario here. Ground ball. Takes a high hop for Heidlich. Lobs it over to first base. Inning is over. Damage is done. 8 come to the plate. 5 come around to score. 3 of them on one swing by David Miller. 6-0 St. Francis on the ISC Sports Network.
This is the Pepsi for America's best barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
Good. Because I got to go to the bathroom.
Welcome back. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you on the ISC Sports Network. Many thanks to Vince Morales, Alex Laverde, and David Kahn, our crew in the truck. On the cameras, Aaron Van Wolde, Rob Lynch, Chase Eisnagel, and Daryl Tibbs on this Thursday. 1 in the 4th and then 5 in the top of the 5th have given St. Francis a little more of a cushion. Cougars came into this contest in sole possession of 4th place in Crossroads League play. And they are literally at the halfway point of their season in terms of league games. For those who don't follow the Crossroads League on a regular basis, 10 member institutions, they all play baseball. You play 4 games against every given league foe, so 36 league games. And you basically play 4 four-game homestands against the league, 4 four-game road trips against the league opponents. And the team that Marian was supposed to split home and road with was Goshen, first weekend of the season. Only problem is Goshen got about like a foot of snow when they were supposed to host Marian, and so they ended up coming back down here for a second time. Lamb over to Valdez, Sandoval, hustle down the line, and there's one away.
Stayed back on the curveball well, but just wasn't able to get really good, squared contact on it.
There's Heidlich. Heidlich, a ground ball to second and a ground ball to shortstop. Well, correct, check that. A ground ball to the third baseman that turned into double play. So he's grounded twice to the left side. And there was activity. It still kind of continues, but obviously with a 6-0 lead, the bullpen can kind of take their time a little bit. You can let Swanson almost try to hit the bull like he did on that one. 2-0 the count as that fastball got away from him.
He's really done that about 5 or 6 times today, where he's just really just lost control of one, and it was all that Eli Riley could do to get up, get tall quickly, and snag before it went to the screen.
Time was called. I think that was based on the catcher, I believe. And Swanson misses that one, but as my partner pointed out, that's been, other than the first inning, that's kind of been the case ever since.
When he misses badly.
As evidenced by that. The last 3 pitches that at bat. Didn't exactly put much thought in Trey Heidlich's mind. And he's walked.
That might create a little sense of urgency down there in that bullpen, though. I mean, you're up 6-0, and you certainly, if you give up 1 or 2, it's not the end of the world, but you'd like to get out of this and not give up any, or heaven forbid, maybe 1.
Here's Salazar. Hit a fly ball to the left fielder, just a step into foul territory his last time up. Struck out looking, did Camp. The lefty versus lefty matchup has been tough on Salazar today. Quick toss back to make sure Heidlich is being honest over at first base.
Yeah, just paying attention. Obviously, that was not even close to a premium move.
Heidlich 8 of 8. Stolen bases this year. That's in for a strike. Caden Mason leads Marian in steals with a dozen. in a 6-run game, you're probably a little less likely to steal a base or two just because you got to have runners on the base paths. And this is high, 1-1 the count. And fishing on that one, did Cam. Comes up empty, 1-2.
Good job by Riley. They're not only blocking that ball, but getting out there and almost having an opportunity to throw behind the runner at first base. No play, so no throw. Again, wisely, just don't throw it around. No sense in that.
Ground ball. They get the lead runner at second, but not in time to get the runner at first. Good hustle by Salazar down the line. There's 2 away. Good turn by Valdez Sandoval.
You'll see the replay there. Hard to see whether or not he had his foot on the bag. The umpire in the field was in great position to see it. He felt that he did.
There's Jones. Jones reached on a walk his last time up. Did he offer? I don't think so. They'll ask. He did not. 1-0.
Yeah, tough call from the field umpire from that angle. If he'd have been down the, no runner on, he's down at third. That's a better angle, but from there it's tough.
2-0.
I mean, I rarely, if ever, see an umpire bring a guy up standing there, and if I do, I always kind of go, "Come on, how do you know?" I think you're guessing.
Jones back for a 5th year after redshirting last year. Made 52 starts in the 2021 season. Because of the COVID year, he could come back for a 6th season if he chooses to. It's in for a strike.
Swanson, about 98% sure that he wasn't going to unload on one, so he kind of grooves one there. 6-0 lead. You don't want to hit yourself into any unnecessary outs.
Ball 4. It's the second time he has earned a walk. That is 6 walks now issued. Swanson has averaged about 3 innings an outing on the year, so we understand why it might be tiring a bit here in inning number 5.
Yeah, he's already extended to that. And again, if your coach, Butcher, you got to be pleased with what he's done.
Ground ball, first baseman, gobbles it up, foot race to the bag, he wins it, and Marian now has stranded 7 in 5 innings. They trail 6-0. We go to the top of the 6th. Special guest will join us next here on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
So St. Francis up to a 6-0 lead in the top of the 6th. Before we welcome a special guest, let's acknowledge the fact that there is now a new pitcher that is going to be in the game for the Marian University Knights. Again, as Wallace, the team's ace, was kind of knocked around in the last inning. It was Joe Nealon. It's going to get the call here in the bullpen for Marian. For Joe, this is his 9th appearance of the season, 6 and then a bit of relief. His ERA is 6.26. His record 1-1. 23 innings pitched on the campaign. He has walked 17, struck out 19, and opposing batters are hitting .272 against the lefty on the season. Joe, young man from Peoria, Illinois, 6'6" left-hander, playing at Illinois Central Community College before making his way to Marian. Well, if you watch our Marian broadcasts in the winter, a person that we are frequently talking about because of threes made, jump shots made, free throws made, etc., is Ella Collier. Well, when we are here for baseball and softball, unbeknownst to most of you, Ella is oftentimes sitting next to me because she's running the scoreboard for the game. And, in fact, we're not letting her take a break from her scoreboard duties. But she's going to join us for a half an inning, Ella. The reason being is that she was just named the NAIA Player of the Year, which we all think is a very deserving honor. Ella, congratulations. How are you doing this evening?
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Obviously, a great year for you and your teammates, making the national tournament, making a deep run in the national tournament. But to be given that individual honor, what did that mean to you?
Honestly, it was something I didn't really expect. Whenever I found out, I was really surprised. But, it's definitely been, a dream of mine to get that far as an individual goal. In the moment, after we had lost in the Elite Eight, that's something I wasn't really thinking about. And I mean, honestly, for that next few days, I wasn't thinking about that either. But once I got the news, I definitely teared up a little. Especially being the first at Marian. That's a huge accomplishment for me. And
obviously Marian, a team that, for those that don't follow, had won 7 consecutive Crossroads Leagues championships heading into this season. This year did go to Indiana Wesleyan. But the Knights, again, as Ella alluded to, made not just the national tournament, but won their regional for a 3rd consecutive year here at the PE Center. Made it to the final 8 of the national tournament. And I believe that you and all of your teammates are eligible to come back for another season, correct?
Yes. So my class will be the last class that has that extra COVID year. And for next year, we do have everybody coming back. So we're going to be coming back stronger and ready to get after it again and try to make a further run next year.
So it's 3-2. Pesa, again, Pesa, the new pitcher in Neyland. This one into foul territory. Right fielder hustling over. Did he hang on to it? No. Rivera dropped it on the sliding attempt. So we'll do it again at 3-2. Take another look at that. And as you can see, great job by Rob Lynch to show you that. Rivera kind of got that one, unfortunately, got kind of off of his shades as he's fighting a bit of a sun field there looking back behind us. Again, Ella Call, you're kind enough to join us for here the top of the 6th inning. I got to spit this stat out a couple of times. The ultimate shooting stat that we can give in basketball is to be a 50, 40, 90 player, over 50% from the field, 40% from three-point range, and 90% from the free throw line. You cleared those easily this year. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's definitely something I try to achieve every year. I could be wrong, but I think I have done it the past 6 years in high school. I think maybe just my freshman year in high school was the only year I did not get the 40, 50, 90, but my shooting percentage does mean a lot to me for sure.
How much of a break do you give yourself after the season is over, and are you already kind of back at work getting ready for next year?
Yeah, so after Nationals, we took about 2.5 weeks off, and we actually just started up again this week on Monday. Just kind of more so of just playing open gym, getting back to used to playing with one another, and then also just, lifting and conditioning type of stuff.
This is year number 2 of playing for Coach Brooks, and obviously quite the transition going from Katie Gerald's now at Purdue to playing for a guy that, is an NAIA legend in his own right in Steve. And so now it's kind of second nature to you. What was that like, a year ago in year number 1?
Yeah, it definitely was hard to adjust to a new coach, especially one that has a completely different coaching style than the coach that I came in to play for. But I would just say that all of us girls kind of did a good job, especially the first year of adjusting as quickly as we could. And then this year, it was a lot better. Just know that we knew what, we expected what he was going to have for us. And, I mean, he's done a good job at adjusting and creating ways that he knows we are able to using us to our advantage, basically. He finally was able to figure out how each of us are coached and that kind of stuff, which I think really helped us a lot this year, just because his first year, he's more of just trying to get to understand us.
Nick Parsons with a liner that Neyland could not snag. That's a base hit, no doubt about that. So 1 on and 1 out. Aiden Lichtensteiger is now at the plate. We talk so much about, the various qualities you have as Lichtensteiger lifts this one foul. In terms of a player, let's talk about a student here at Marian. What are you majoring in here at Marian University?
I'm a marketing major.
Okay. And what are you hoping to do with that whenever your playing days come to an end, whether it's here, professionally, et cetera?
So I plan on getting my real estate license, actually. So doing school. I haven't decided if I want to go do that schooling this summer or just wait until after basketball season is over, just because it's a lot on your plate already with school and sports. But yeah, I'll probably go to real estate classes after season is over in March next year.
0-2. Again, this one sprayed foul to Lichtensteiger. We'll do it again. Now, again, you've got the potential of using that fifth COVID season, not this coming year, but the next year. Have you kind of made up your mind as to are you planning on playing for 5 full years, or have you gotten that far down the road yet?
I mean, it's definitely something that's been a thought in my mind and that a lot of people have talked to me about and are wanting me to do. I'm not sure. As of right now, I'm definitely leaning more towards just graduating this year whenever I'm supposed to graduate.
I certainly understand. People have a tough time grasping. Well, you can get a fifth year. Well, 4 years is a long time. You played a lot of high school and AAU basketball leading up to that as well.
Yep.
This one misses. The count now goes to 2-2. Again, you are currently third on Marian's all-time scoring list and likely in line to catch Lakin Hasser-Smith, Kelly Kirkhoff at some point in time during the course of the season. This one up the middle. 6 on to first and 3 double play. I won't get to ask you a question because we're out of time, but I can just say that's on the range coming up for Ella. Ella, always good to see you. We'll let you go back to your day job, so to speak, on the scoreboard. Glad that we could catch up with you.
Thank you for having me.
And that is the NAIA Women's Basketball Player of the Year, Ella Collier, and today scoreboard operator. On the double play, it's 6-0 through 5.5. St. Francis leads on ISC.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Busy day on the campus of Marian University. Spring sports, it always is. You see members of the women's lacrosse team literally walking by. As I mentioned that, we had the thrill of doing our first lacrosse broadcast on ISC here about 5 days ago, I suppose, on Saturday. Marian women's team currently in third in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. It's not a conference sport offered here in the Crossroads League. 6-0 is the score. Joe Nealon, a solid first inning of work in relief for the Knights. And now the bullpen will be picking up the slack from here from St. Francis because Andrew Kent is now entering the game. For Kent, this is his 8th appearance of the season, all in relief. He's thrown 9 1/3 innings. His ERA is north of 9 at 9.6. He has walked 8. He has struck out 18. Swanson goes 5 innings of scoreless baseball. He flirted with danger the entire time. He walked 6, struck out 5, gave up just 2 hits, but had 7 runners stranded in his 5 innings work. But it's a 0 on the board, and he is in line for a victory tonight. We are now returned by Jim Leisure to the broadcast booth. Your thoughts as this one heads to the home half of the 6th?
Well, if you're Marian, you want to get people on. You need some big innings. You need some crooked numbers up there. And if you're St. Francis, again, you like Kent to come out here and give you at least an inning, maybe 2. We'll see what happens.
And we'll play a second game tonight. That will go 7 innings. That is the conference doubleheader format. So Marian's got 4 trips to the plate to trying to get back in this one, or they're playing for the split in game number 2. Picked about a 25-30 minute gap in between our 2 doubleheader contests tonight. So here's Hogue. Marian will send 5, 6, and 7. It's in for a strike. Hogue getting to a fielder's choice with runners at first and second his last time up, and struck out in the 2nd inning. Both starting pitchers go 5 in today's game. Wallace is on the hook for potentially a second loss of the season. Swanson looking for a second win of the season. The count now at 1-2. Two and two. Both bullpens have gone silent, so the hope or expectation is that the reliever that is in the game will at least carry this for a couple of 3 innings. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Impressive debut for Kent, and there's one down.
He's got a little bit of looks like either a cut fastball or could be a slider, but a lot of late movement on the fastball, or the fast pitch to. And look at him a little bit more to see exactly what he's throwing here, but right now he's showing good movement on the pitch.
Kent, a sophomore from Livonia, Michigan. So here is Bryce Davenport. Ground ball, second baseman range is over. Valdez Sandoval has plenty of time to make the play, and there are quickly 2 down. Davenport now 0 for 3.
Nice job by Valdez Sandoval there, just ranging to his left and getting in front of the baseball and then getting rid of it quickly. No sense in letting that be a close play. Sometimes you see second baseman a little lazy getting it over there.
So he step, switch hitter. He'll step to the left side of the dish to face the righty. He step worked 2 walks from the other side. First pitch swinging, fastball elevated. And you wonder if the same traits, we often say, well, a right-handed hitter is better as a high ball hitter.
Right.
Lefty's better as a low ball hitter.
Sure.
Does that continue when you're a switch hitter? Like all of a sudden how you hit the ball changes depending on what side of the plate you're hitting from?
I wouldn't think so. I would think that when you're a switch hitter, you have to be so disciplined in just the basic fundamentals of hitting that you're going to be very similar on both sides. When all you do is bat from the left side, you develop a certain swing, you develop a certain pitch selection that you like. But I think switch hitting, I've actually years ago tried it, and it was disciplining myself to say, no, just keep doing the same thing with your hips, same thing with your hands, and just trying to be the same guy on both sides.
This one lifted. Third baseman gives it a quick glance, but it's down into our left. Down at 1-2.
Now, to finish that thought, Greg, I was never really good enough to ever do it in a game, so perhaps I'm the wrong guy to ask, but that's the way I approached it.
Well, pretty good looking swing from the left side that time by E-Step. He lifts that one. And Dawson has struck off the plate this year. He was hitting south of 150 coming in, but he has reached base all 3 times. I think if those who don't know his father's story, Chris and Sue, his mom, run the Round Tripper Academy, and Chris is key in the university program that's won multiple state championships and has produced several college baseball players at this point. His dad played at the University of Kentucky, then played professionally. He's a kid that literally has grown up around the game.
Right.
So I'm not surprised he's a switch hitter because he spent so much time in the cage, almost from birth until now.
And, again, I think most kids they flirt with it. They're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to climb up on the other side there and see what this is.
We all wonder how we're going to do it.
Yeah,
on the other
exactly.
side of the plate,
And then, if you go, that wasn't so bad, you start working at it.
Right center field. Right fielder drifting back. Right fielder over his glove. And E-Step was taken off from the beginning. He'll get the wave around. Marian's going to get on the board and heading towards third. Throw. Not in time. So Caden Mason puts Marian on the board here in the bottom half of the 6th.
Well, again, getting your 7, 8, and 9 going, it's always important if you can do it. Now, that ball was absolutely stroked. Again, I thought the right fielder, David Miller, kind of took I've got this path to the baseball, and then realized quickly that he was in big trouble. And that ball one-hops the fence, and really good base running on both sides.
Take a look. Good inside-out swing that time by Mason. Infield playing back with a 5-run lead, so of course, 2 outs in the inning as well. For Mason, that is his 2nd triple of the season. Lamb with the Swing and a miss at the elevated fastball, 1-1 the count. Well, we referenced earlier that the St. Francis, or 0-2, the St. Francis Marian doubleheader was both in softball and baseball today. Marian won the opening game 2-0. I think Olivia Stunkel now has thrown 5 consecutive shutouts in the front half of doubleheaders for Marian. That was their 26th win in a row. Well, the 27th win in a row took a while. Took 9 innings to complete. But the Marian women win 4-3 in 9, and they get another doubleheader sweep. Off the hands, caught. Sandoval will throw to first base just to make sure, but the inning is over. Marian takes 1 off the lead. They got 3 more innings to pick back 5. It's 6-1 Cougars through 6 on ISC.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work. It can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
This reminder to you Marian fans that joining the M Club is the absolute best way to support student athletes at Marian University. For more information, visit marian.edu/M Club. For the top of the 7th we go. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you on ISC. Our next Marian University broadcast scheduled for April the 22nd. That is a softball doubleheader against Indiana Wesleyan. Now, I say it with that pause before scheduled because we are planning on having a women's lacrosse Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference quarterfinal or semifinal, which would be April the 18th or 20th. Jim, how much do you know about the sport of lacrosse?
Not much. I've been to a couple matches at the high school level. They're exciting. I liken it to just hockey on grass. I mean, very similar in terms of the goal and the way the game is played. But it's an enjoyable game.
People ask, what are the sports that you don't call? That's one of them. Your knowledge of lacrosse might, outsize mine.
Okay, well, I've been to about 4 or 5 high school lacrosse games. I've had nephews that have played, and that's really about it. Again, it is fun to watch, though.
7, 8, 9. Cardenas, Valdez, Sandoval, and Riley due up. That tails over the outside corner for a strike. Cardenas has walked twice and scored once. Sky high pop up. Davenport calling everybody off and makes the grab.
A little bit of an adventure there. He's almost wondering, maybe I should have just let the second baseman take it.
It's always easier, for whatever reason, for the second baseman to make that play. So Valdez Sandoval hit into a double play and had a sacrifice bunt. His 2 plate appearances. Nealon's looked good now in back-to-back innings out of the bullpen.
As a coach, you're always searching for kids that can just throw and take 2 or 3 innings in the middle of a ballgame if you need them. And sometimes you think you find that guy, and you're right. You use that kid throughout the rest of the season. And sometimes you find that guy, and then he kind of disappears on you.
It's his first year in a Marian uniform. Red shirt sophomore. Off the end of the bat, center fielder coming in won't be able to get that. Valdez Sandoval gets a 1-out single, his first base hit of the game. So now Eli Riley will step to the plate.
Riley's had a nice game behind the plate. Good job of blocking balls in the dirt and communicating around the infield on different plays. Let's see if he can bring something to the offensive side.
Showing bunt was Riley.
Again, this is a St. Francis team that does not bunt a lot.
Hit into a fielder's choice and scored his last time up. A ground ball to the shortstop as well. This marks the third trip to the lineup here for the Cougars.
Riley does have one of the successful sacrifice bunts for the Cougars, though.
2-0. Shadows have largely crept across the infield at this point. Well, good chunk of the outfield as well. It's one of the handful of facilities in the Crossroads League that does have lights, and they'll be in use sooner rather than later. Riley continues to battle. And the count at 2-2.
Bat head dropping just a little bit now. Looks like he's going to, with 2 strikes, choke up a little bit, which is, I think, always a good idea. Not much. You can see it just maybe an inch or so. Shorten the bat, make it quicker, make it shorter, straighter to the ball.
This one lifted and foul. We'll do it again at 2-2.
Same result as basically the last pitch. So, again, I always like kids that could kind of adjust themselves. If I was he, I'd go up just a little bit more, and he has. He's choked up just a little bit more now. Just wants a little more back control.
Swing and a miss. Good battle between the two of them. That lefty, though, always has that advantage. In other words, you can kind of start that fastball middle zone and just kind of let it naturally tail away.
Yep.
And it's his first strikeout for Nealon. There's 2 down.
Natural movement, you know, when scouts, be they college or pro scouts, come around and see a kid, they understand velocity, but, you know, you can get a gun and find out how fast a kid's throwing. What they want to know is, does his pitch move? What kind of movement does it have?
Counted 0-1 as Lepper swung through that one. Walked and scored his last time up. Went fishing for that one. Diving effort by Estep, but it was foul. And the count is 0-2. Nealon's kind of got he's almost kind of short-arming the ball. So he's got a big frame, but the ball doesn't kind of come out where you almost would think it would be as the hitter. So
no, I'd agree.
You can see why you guys are kind of taking a trip through to kind of get a good read on the lefty.
He certainly opens that front shoulder early enough and then squares his chest. You can read the Marian squarely across the front of his body as he delivers the ball. A little bit of an awkward or unorthodox, I should say, delivery.
Kind of 2-2.
You know, and sometimes to a hitter, that can be distracting. I mean, just seeing a different sight picture. You know, I used to always encourage hitters to, you know, disregard all that stuff, all that herky-jerky, open, close. Watch the ball out of the release point.
Smacked foul. And bullpens have gone silent. There's a couple of players kind of hanging around out on the St. Francis pen, but no activity right now.
Well, most action in the bullpen, regardless of the level, is it's a lot of spitting seeds and throwing gum at each other. And
more conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about cars.
Understood. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. It's back-to-back strikeouts, and the inning top half comes to an end. It is stretch time here at Marian University. 6-1. The lead has been stretched since the 5th by the visitors. Back in a moment on ISC.
Does your school offer high-quality education? Does it offer virtual or hybrid options? Marian University Preparatory School educates students in a safe, faith-based environment focused on college and career exploration. Here at Marian University Preparatory School, we empower parents and help students to master what they love and learn as they live. We are now enrolling students in grades 6 through 9 this fall. Full financial aid packages are still available. Act now to make MU Prep your school for 2022.
To the bottom half of the 7th we go. 6-1. Andrew Kent on for a second inning of work. Beautiful look back to the neighborhood to our west. They're going to get some bonus baseball tonight, whether they want it or not, with the 6 o'clock start for this doubleheader. This game has moved on at a fairly decent clip, play about an hour 45 at this juncture. The building you see off to your left, so that's the brand new weight room and training facility. That's an extension of the PE Center. Pretty neat view that we have from the press box here at Marian University.
Yeah, Greg, all I can say to the neighbors, if, you know what, you're going to put up with it anyway, why don't you come over and watch? You know, you live right across, you can just walk across the little.
You get unofficial season tickets.
Absolutely.
Might as well take advantage of it, right?
Yep.
So Heidlich walked his last time up and was unfortunately part of a double play.
Leading off to the Knights, bottom of the 7th inning, number 5, Trey Heidlich.
So Heidlich is 0 for 2 with that walk today. First pitch swinging, ground ball, second baseman. Great sliding backhand play. The throw not in time. That would have been our second Sports Center level defensive play we would have had in 3 days here at Marian. Great effort, but that's an infield single.
Absolutely. Great effort and did about all he could. Good job there by Trey getting out of the box and hustling down the line.
Looked like Trey's old day as a running quarterback at Batesville. Salazar, fielder's choice last time up. Turns on this one. Right fielder had him scouted perfectly.
Perfect. Yep.
That's as well hit of a ball as we've seen today, other than the 2 home runs by Miller.
Right.
This right fielder and Miller had him played in the absolute right spot. 1 down.
Yeah, and what I like to see there, too, is Salazar talking to Jones a little bit, communicating, telling him what he saw, what he hit. You know, again, nobody's happy about making it out, but he did hit the ball hard, and that's all that really matters. The fact you hit it right at somebody is irrelevant. But, hey, I didn't get on, but listen, this is what he did to me. All right, be ready.
My teammates can get a debrief in the dugout for me whether they wanted it or not.
Oh, absolutely.
Every time you walk back in. Jones has reached his last 2 times up, this one in the dirt. Riley's been outstanding. Both catchers have been really good defensively in today's game.
I would agree.
This one tails away, 2-0 the count.
Yeah, again, just nasty movement late. Just needs to stay on line and let that ball start over the outer half and just clip the corner and move outside where it's unhittable.
This Marian team played last week against Mount Vernon Nazarene. In that last game, Jones had 3 hits. Part of a double-header sweep against one of the 3 sets of Cougars in this league. St. Francis, Spring Arbor, and Mount Vernon Naz.
Of course, Cougars also a very popular mascot name at the high school level.
Just a few of those around.
Yeah.
Greenfield Central immediately comes to mind.
Certainly. I think North Putt might be the Cougars.
I know North Harrison is, back where I grew up.
Okay. I mean, you can get on the IHSA website and look up the most popular nicknames.
Cougars and Eagles.
Yeah.
Tigers would be in that group, too.
Yeah. Then you have names like the Jug Rocks and some of the more obscure ones.
Now he misses high, and Jones earns a free pass yet again. His on-base percentage has been tremendous if his batting average has not increased today. He has now reached in his last 3 trips to home plate, and this is exactly what Marian needs to get multiple runners on the base paths here. You're an extra base hit away from making this one awfully interesting for the last couple of innings.
Yeah, you got to pick away at it, and they had an opportunity in the last half when they were batting to get maybe a crooked number. They only got 1, but just pick away. You got 3 more shots at it. Use them.
8 runners stranded through the first 6 innings. There may be about to be some activity pick up in the pen for St. Francis here.
Yeah, I'd agree. And it's funny how you can I can't see the bullpen from this angle that I'm at, but you can almost feel it when you can see when a pitcher's really starting to struggle and when a coach can look out there and not have a lot of confidence.
Luke Siren heading that way for St. Francis. Rivera, they'll throw by the runner at second. Heilich got back in time. Good snap throw by Riley. So Rivera, single and a double. And a ground ball to the first baseman his last time up. That was the last batter that Swanson faced in today's game. Foul tip. 1-2.
A little bit of a game going on out there between the shortstop and the runner at second base. I was a little surprised the hitter maybe didn't ask for timeout. Long pause by Kent.
Foul tip again. Probably couldn't hang on to it. Rivera gets at least one more swing. Rivera on the Crossroads League second team a year ago and set the program single season record for doubles with 25. Watches that one go by, 2-2. Rivera from the Chicagoland area. Played at South Suburban Community College before making his way to Indianapolis. The 2-2. Lashed foul. We'll do it again.
Good pitch and good job of spoiling the pitcher's pitch.
A solo blast for St. Francis from David Miller in the fourth. 5 runs in the top of the fifth. Capped off by Miller again, this time a 3-run shot. And for what it's worth, he leads off the top of the 8th for the Cougars. Full count here.
Kent has a tendency to miss up when he misses as well.
And put that one low.
As he misses down.
So the bases are loaded. Tying run is on deck for Marian. Here comes Hogue. Hogue has struck out twice. And into a fielder's choice.
Batting for the Knights, number 3, left fielder, Jackson Hogue.
And again, infielders are hoping to turn 2 if possible. First and third playing even with the bag. We're going to have a quick mound to visit coming up here for St. Francis. It gives Luke Siren a bit more time to get ready in the bullpen for St. Francis.
Yeah, and if you're an infielder now for St. Francis too, you're looking at runners. You're saying, okay, this kid's pretty fast. I'm probably not going to be able to double him up. You're also saying, hey, I'm going to just take the ball where it takes me. If I'm the third baseman and the ball's hit to my left, I'm going second to first. If it takes me in, I'm going to try to get a play at the plate. If it takes me to my right, I'm going to step on third, throw across. Know exactly what you're going to do with the baseball before it's ever pitched. Same thing going all the way around the diamond. Shortstop's telling himself, hey, if it's to my left, I go here. If it's to my right, I go there. If I'm coming in, what do I do with it? Sometimes it's, hey, when in doubt, get an out. You still got a big lead, so, you can afford to give up a run for an out.
Oh, and fouled off our crowd mic. That's what you heard.
Yeah.
0-1 the count. Have to charge Jackson for that.
Hogue is right on it. He is right on it. You got to, if you're Kent, you got to change speeds. Riley's got to call a different pitch here.
Split the dish on that one. Don't think Hogue thought he would see that much of the plate.
No, and I don't think he was expecting fastball. I think he was expecting, again, a little bit of a bender, and because the first pitch was a little bit of a curve, maybe a slider, but it did have some movement on, some spin on it.
0-2. Missed high. 1-2 the count.
Good spot to miss.
On that 2-strike count, Hogue was digging in with both his feet and has come up on the bat a little bit as well. 2-2 the count.
Well, if you're Andrew Kent, you got to stop fooling around there. Last couple pitches have been, let the hitter get himself out pitch. Now you just got to go after him. I mean, you can't really, no place to put him, obviously, so.
Did he stop the swing? No. And no need to ask the bases umpire. Home plate umpire made that call.
Well, and I think Hogue knew it.
Yep.
He did not in any way protest, but watch this here. He's going to go. You're going to see the bat. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, from that angle there, he went almost all the way around.
So that's a third strikeout today for Hogue. Davenport has struck out twice and grounded to second base. He was swinging for the fences on that one and comes up empty.
Yeah, had the classic uppercut swing there.
Davenport with 2 home runs this year, 3 doubles as well. 18 runs batted in total. Second verse, same as the first, 0-2. The story of this game has been stranded base runners for
Yep.
Marian.
Yep.
They're in danger of doing that with runners 9, 10, and 11 in today's game. And they'll do exactly that. Kent reared back and found something on that one, and Marian leaves him loaded. Through 7, the score remains St. Francis 6 and Marian 1 as you're watching Marian baseball on ISC.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. They've been in business over 35 years. I'm here with Joe Polizzi to talk emergency services. Now, Joe, when I set my house on fire with a toaster, you were actually in my yard before the firefighters left.
Well, Pat, I remember that call like it was yesterday, and although I was disappointed that it was yours, I was happy that I was going to be able to provide some assistance.
You know, this true story, a firefighter actually told me I needed to call someone for emergency services, kind of obvious, and I told him Michaelis was on the way. He said, great, because they're the real deal. Joe, now what do you do in these situations when you show up?
Well, we try to be a calming influence, and we try to find out what the needs are of the family. Everybody's needs are different. Everybody's desires are different. What we try to do is match what we could provide with what they need and do it very smoothly.
I've lived it. If you find yourself needing emergency restoration service in the wake of a fire, flood, or storm, give the Michaelis Corporation a call anytime, 24/7, 844-FIX-INDY.
If you heard a sonic boom in the area earlier, it was that swing. Miller's second home run of the game. That dorm is not across campus. It is across the street. But Miller one-hopped on that one. So he has driven in 4 with 2 swings of the bat as the grad student, and he will lead off this inning for the Cougars of St. Francis.
It didn't waste a lot of time. That was the second pitch of the at-bat, and again, he was sitting squarely waiting on that pitch and swung hard. Had he missed, he may have actually screwed himself in the ground, but he made good contact, and he did it again.
Swings again. Does he make it 3 for 3? I think he caught it. He did. No. Dropped it. Dropped it. That is a home run. My goodness. 3 swings, 3 home runs by Miller. He has doubled his home run total for the season in one day. And as great as that swing was, look at the effort by Rivera. He didn't miss it by much.
No, that's all. I mean, that's all you could do as a right fielder. But I'll tell you, Miller just has right now, and good hitters get in that zone where they just see the ball really well. The ball looks, pearly white. It looks huge, about the size of a baseball, and you can't wait to get back up to the plate. And that time, first pitch, he wasn't waiting on the second pitch. He said, you give me anything close, I'm a man. I'm going to drive it as far as I can, and he did.
Thought for a second Rivera had grabbed that one, but as you can see from the replay, it's about 2 or 3 feet away from getting glove to it. So a 3 home run afternoon for Miller. He has single-handedly created 5 of the 7 runs that St. Francis has scored in this game. For Nealon, that is the 4th home run he has allowed. And for Miller, that's a lefty versus lefty home run. That's where we tell the Miller family that DVDs are available for purchase when you log on to ISCSportsNetwork.com. Here's Croxton to the plate. Croxton 0 for 3 today. Ground ball to second his last time up. Smacks this one. Rivera backing up again. This one over his head and off the fence. Croxton will try to second base at the double. Well, the hit parade is underway now for the Cougars of St. Francis.
Got 2 hitters and 2 just absolute ropes, and right now at least there's nobody working in the Marian pen, but that ball again was hit really, really well. No shot at all for Rivera to get back there and get it. I mean, you got to play, a normal position. You can't play all the way back on the warning track or balls are going to fall in front of you. So, he had no chance at that ball. That ball was just well hit and perfectly placed.
And let me point out that there is not a breath of wind out here today. It's obviously that's not been the case for parts of the last several days, but those aren't wind-hated shots.
No.
That's all swings. in today's game. Lights just got turned on here at Marian. Two and 0 the count. And hop to home plate. And in one sense, you get to 7-1 and say, okay, you want to kind of just eat innings from a pitching standpoint.
Certainly, and you would think they got to have somebody, maybe a freshman or sophomore that they've been wanting to look at anyway, right?
On the flip side, you haven't played in 7 days.
True.
And you don't play again until Monday after today. So, in other words, I think you might see somebody getting ready sooner rather than later. There's a walk earned by the DH. So the first 3 batters have all reached here in this Nealon's third inning of work. Able to scatter a couple of singles in the first 2 innings in which he pitched. Here's Parsons. Doubled and scored in the 5th. Singled in the 6th. He's 2 for 3 today. And we're going to have some activity starting in a matter of moments in the bullpen for Marian. A little out of the zone, 2-0 the count.
You know, along those lines, Greg, of, you know, is there somebody, who do we got? Look at your roster, look, you know, go down. And from an offensive standpoint, years ago, I had an opportunity to coach with
Rivera's been awfully active in right field. This is his easiest play to make. Croxton will wisely tag. Ball got past Salazar, but no damage done.
Does set up a first and third.
Good job by the pitcher and Nealon to kind of be hanging out back there, and almost got Croxton napping. And Croxton telling the third base coach, hey, let me know he's there, would you?
Yeah, a little something.
Yeah.
A little heads up.
A little help for a friend.
Yeah.
First out of the inning recorded. Runners at third, first, and third.
But to finish the thought, we had an opportunity to coach with Indianapolis Indian legend Razor Shines one year when I was at Bishop Chatard High School, and Razor oftentimes would forget what level he was at, and he would say, who's our best left-handed pinch hitter? We'd go, Razor, the only 2 kids who bat left-handed are already on the field.
I think that you and I have had a variation of this conversation in years gone by. I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this in a college broadcast. Razor was not the most popular with his players as a minor league manager.
Correct.
Because Razor was going 1,000% of the time. Was he the same way with high school players?
Absolutely.
Too?
Absolutely. The other thing we had to do with Razor is he hated the umpires. He just thought they were horrendous, and every call was a terrible call.
This one smacked to right center field. Center fielder drifting over. Right fielder is there. Rivera. He'll make the catch. And again, Rivera, we kind of talked about this early in the broadcast. His swing has been fine. He's playing with a bit of a shoulder injury from earlier this year, and so does not have the typical right fielder's arm that you would have.
Right.
Well done by St. Francis. Sacrifice fly. It's 8-1. 2 down.
We constantly had to remind Razor that these were not professional umpires. These are, you know, men and you know, who are teachers and coaches and you know, have regular jobs and they're giving back to the game. And please, Razor, will you get off their backs? Because you were just making their life miserable.
There's a phrase that I don't want to say on this broadcast. Starts with red. You can figure out the rest.
Exactly.
That's Razor. God bless him.
No, he's great. And he knew baseball. Man, he had great stories. The one about his first major league at bat was hilarious. They were at Wrigley Field before lights, so the shadow was there between home plate. Lee Smith on the mound. Bill Verdon, the manager of the Expos.
2-0. Cardenas taken. It's now 3-0.
They need a pinch hitter, and Razor's like, I know they're going to call my name. And he said, I just sat back, held my breath as long as I could, tried to get as skinny as I could get, lean up against the dugout. Bill Verdon called my name. I went up and popped out to lead up Leon Durham.
Cardenas watches that go by for a strike. 3-1 the count. Seth Risley is warming in the bullpen for Marian. Might see him in inning number 9. This one misses off the corner. Second walk of the inning, authored by Nealon. Nealon, by the way, now he has faced 13 batters. Pinch hitter coming in here for St. Francis. This will be the 14th batter he has faced. This is Valdez Sandoval's spot in the lineup, who got a base hit. Mike Jovanovic Comes to the plate now for St. Francis.
And he is just going to bat. I don't know if you overheard from the field, Mike.
Re-enter, yep.
The home plate umpire indicated that Valdez Sandoval will re-enter.
Mike is a redshirt sophomore from Valparaiso. Jovanovic on the season, batting a .143. That misses low, 2-0 the count. He is 4 for 28. Does have a home run and 4 runs batted in as well.
So not really missing much in terms of batting average by putting him in there. Coach just wants him to get a shot. You know, the best way to prove to a coach he's playing the wrong guy is to get a base hit.
At 8-1, you have that leverage / opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is a kid that maybe he's been wanting to see against a left-hander. Well, here you go. Mike, get a bat.
Swings through that one. 2-2 the count. Riley and number 9 spot awaits on deck, but there's a pinch hitter on deck for him as well, if it gets to him. Stay alive swing. Count at 2-2. Noah Mack is in the on-deck circle if the inning is able to continue. Got the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Inning is over. But David Miller did it again. 3rd home run in as many at-bats. The park and the campus may not be able to hold him much longer. 8-1, Cougars lead on ISC.
Marian University is like a home to me. Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
8-1 our score. And it's first of 2 tonight from Marian as they host St. Francis. Indiana Members Credit Union is proud to support Marian University. They offer a free Marian Knight debit card with a free checking account. Get your Knights debit card today and show your support. Visit any IMCU branch or sign up online now at imcu.com. Membership savings required, federally insured by the NCUA. So Kent will start his 3rd inning of work. Again, there is double barrel action in the bullpen now for St. Francis.
Yeah, Kent actually kind of struggled last inning in terms of finding the plate. So Coach Butcher's not going to take any chances here. Hey, if he can get people out, by all means, let him get people out. But if he struggles at all, I think he's gone.
Estep has reached all 3 plate appearances today. Singled his last time up from the left-handed side. Walked his first 2 plate appearances. Activity has ceased in the Marian pen, and you would think we'll see Risley to finish this game off in the 9th. Sky high pop up. Shortstop backing up, left fielder coming in. Shortstop wants it, left fielder, and that's the right play. Always give that to the player playing behind you if he's running in Cardenas, and there's one down.
Yeah, fly ball priority. It's pretty simple in the outfield. The center fielder overrules both the left and the right fielder. All outfielders always overrule infielders. So if that shortstop, second baseman, third baseman's going out, he hears the outfielder calling it. You got to get out of the way, otherwise you're going to crash into each other, and the coach is going to be very, very angry.
Here's Caden Mason. His triple produced the lone run today for Marian. That came back in the 6th inning.
Yeah, I'm on 3. I need to be down on 1.
Mason 1 for 3 today. Activity has once again resumed in the bullpen for the Knights. That thing just, again, kind of slashed its way through the strike zone. Good call. 1-2 the count. This has been a well officiated game, by the way, by our 2-man crew.
Absolutely.
Strike 3. 2 down. So make that 4 strikeouts now, and total of 13 batters faced by Kent. Here's Lamb.
Yeah, the umpires haven't had it easy, though. There's been a couple double plays where the field umpire has to quickly, see the out at second, turn and get the picture at first as well. So both guys hustling around, communicating well.
Well, it has been a consistent strike zone.
Yep.
And I'm okay with a big strike zone.
Oh, me too.
Keeps the game moving.
Yeah.
Keeps the hitters aggressive. 0-2 the count.
That's one of the things of the Major League games that I've watched. I mean, the whole idea is to speed things up. And you had talked earlier how you like all 3 rules. I like what I'm seeing out of it. I mean, I'm still reserving judgment. But, yeah, I like so far what I see.
Yep.
Now, some things you could do, too. And I think, honestly, I wonder if MLB hasn't told the umpires, hey, widen it up a bit. Because I've seen some pitches off the plate called strikes a lot more this spring than I have in years past.
Lamb, kind of an excuse me swing that time. And at least one more pitch to hit.
You want to talk about good? I mean, I watch a lot of Major League Baseball, and I know that box that you see superimposed is not perfect.
Ground ball. Valdez Sandoval. Scoops, throws over. Let's keep that thought going. We get to the top of the 9th inning. We are through 8 here at Marian. St. Francis in control of this one. They lead at 8-1 on the ISC Sports Network.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you. Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
So Marian will go to a third pitcher of this game. It'll be Seth Risley. Risley making just his 3rd appearance of the season. He has thrown 4 innings so far. He's allowed 2 runs. He's walked 5. He struck out 4. Opposing batters batting $154 against Risley, who is a redshirt freshman from East Central High School.
Home of the Trojans.
Made 2 appearances last year, which allowed him to kind of count that year as a red shirt season, so a second year on campus. And just his 5th appearance in a Marian University uniform. He will face batters 9, 1, and 2. And much as he was on deck in the last inning, Noah Mack is going to get an opportunity here. He too a redshirt freshman, and I said that name last inning, and my partner, who is a New Pal Dragon, goes, "That a New Pal kid?" Absolutely. So Noah Mack will bat in Eli Riley's spot in the lineup.
Noah, one of many, at least 2 sport athletes. I don't know if he did anything in the winter, but I know he's a football, baseball kid. Coach Kyle Ralph's teams, and I'm pretty sure he played on one of the state championship teams, if not 2, in football.
They've had a few of them. That New Pal has.
Yeah, they've had a good bushel full, and Coach Sean Lyons does a fantastic job with the baseball program too. And it seems like every year they compete for sectional champions. Sometimes they win that; they can compete at the regional. You start getting up into the semi-state of 4A baseball, it becomes a little bit of a different animal. New Pal had a ton of success as a baseball program at the 3A level.
Mack, 3 of 17 on the season. This is his 16th appearance, and he is a redshirt freshman. Riley was 0 for 2 with a fielder's choice, stolen base, and a run scored. Slings this one, does Risley. The count is 0-1. So 3 innings pitched for Nealon. 2 runs, both earned. A couple hits, a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. Largely did his job when you get 3 innings of relief from one pitcher.
Mac, kind of a strong-looking kid. You don't figure he's up there to get a little punch and Judy thing. He's looking up there to hit the ball 400 feet.
Turns on this one. Third baseman's got it. E-step. Slings it over to Davenport, and there's 1 down. So the top of the lineup will roll back through in Lepper. He'll get a 5th attempt at this. He is 0 for 3 with a walk in today's game.
You always got to be heads up because there's always something happening.
expect about a 30-minute gap from game 1 to game 2. If you're wondering why this doubleheader began at 6 o'clock tonight, start time for this game moved a couple of different times. But one of my favorite quotes in life is, "Necessity is the mother of invention." Part of the reason why this was a 6 o'clock game this evening is we needed that much time for the field to dry out after the bushels of rain that we picked up Tuesday night into Wednesday. Frankly, we were lucky yesterday in terms of what could have been a severe weather day here really was not. It was just a day that was full of rain.
Yeah, John Herrick and I talked about it a little bit. It's just like John was very concerned, and I said, you just don't know, John. I mean,
Lepper turned on that one. That is a hard hit strike. That is a foul ball. The count goes to 2-2. And those that follow ISC, they know John. For those that do not, John was the broadcast partner of Jim on our 9-star softball game on Tuesday night between Pendleton Heights and Shenandoah. As Lepper fishes for this one, center fielder has a beat on that one. There's 2 down. John is also the now news director at 93 WIBC, and so John was fresh off the heels of handling live news coverage on Friday night during the tornadoes, and partner, I will relate to you, as a pinch hitter is at the plate now for St. Francis, that was the first time I had heard the tornado sirens go off in Marion County in a long time.
Yeah, I will agree. And that was the hat that John was wearing. I mean, he was literally concerned. I think that the situation, obviously, in Sullivan and in Whiteland and across the state was weighing very, very heavily on his mind. And I was honestly just trying to hopefully maybe calm him down a little bit and say, John, Indiana weather, it might not. And we did kind of get lucky in terms of severe weather yesterday.
So Brendan Lytle at the plate, and it's important to note that who he's hitting for, David Miller. So Miller had home runs in his last 3 plate appearances. Well, I got that chance to go 4 for 4. Lytle in that spot facing an 0-2 predicament. That one hops to Lamb. The count now 1-2.
Well, Miller probably felt like 12 total bases was honestly enough. And at some point you let somebody else eat.
I would assume that Miller will be trotted right back in the lineup for game number 2, would be my guess. Howard misses high, 2-2 the count. Heidlich, Salazar, Jones, those are the trio players due up next go-round. Top of the lineup coming through for the Knights. Off the end of the bat, a grass cutter. Heidlich flips it over, and good job by Risley. He retires all 3 batters he is set to face. Marian, well, they need a lot of runs and have a few outs to do so. They trail 8-1, go to the home half of the 9th here on the ISC Sports Network.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with 0 sugar. This is the Pepsi with 0 compromises. This is Pepsi 0 Sugar.
As Howard Kelman would say, the lights are on at this beautiful downtown ballpark. Now, we're not downtown, but we're
north,
close.
Just north, yeah.
We're close.
Yeah.
We're a mile and a half north of where Howard maybe would say that.
Right.
When it was Busch Stadium.
Right.
Because he's been the voice of the team from the mid-'70s until now. And, of course, we at the ISC Sports Network now are the production partners of the Indianapolis Indians. We look forward to being back at Victory Field next Tuesday. Aiden Lichtensteiger on your screen. He and his Cougars have been tremendous today. 1 in the 4th. 5 on the board in the 5th inning. Tack on a couple of more in the 8th. And it's an 8-1 lead here in the bottom of the 9th. So Trey Heidlich went up for a 5th time. He has reached base his last 2 plate appearances. A walk and a single. And this is Kent, who is being charged with just kind of holding the fort down. Go the last 4 innings. Stake to a 7-run lead. Kent struggled in the 7th, but made quick work of the Knights in the 8th and has earned himself another inning atop the bump. Ground ball, shortstop range is over. Takes his time. Good looking arm by Leppert. And there's one down.
Yeah, this would be huge for St. Francis if Kent can go ahead and finish it out. You don't want to have to use another pitcher. Obviously, you've got a 7-run lead. It would be a disaster of epic proportions for that to happen, but keep that arm for that second game.
Here's Salazar. He absolutely hit a rope his last time up. Just hit it right to Miller in right field. This time goes the opposite direction and finds the 56 hole and gets his first base hit of the game.
A good example there again, just apparently starting to see the ball. You know, when you see it, you almost, again, it looks real big, it looks real white. Nice inside out swing and taking what's pitched. The ball was outside. Don't pull it. Pull an outside pitch, you normally ground out.
Jones has walked his last 3 times up.
Which is big. I mean, you know, long before Moneyball and everybody talked about on-base percentages, honestly, Greg, I was kind of doing that with some of my lineups at the high school level in the 90s. I would reserve 1 and 2 for a guy who got on base and then a guy who could handle the bat behind him. But then after that, I always slotted my batting order by on-base percentage. I really didn't use, you know, a batting average all that much.
Taking all the way that time, 1 and 2 the count. Jones is a strikeout victim back in the first. And Swanson in line to get the win. Wallace, just his second loss of the season. Ground ball, that'll also get through because the shortstop had to kind of hedge towards second with Salazar at first.
Yep, double play depth or double play spots. So again, two in, 2 over. And you're right, leaves a big old hole for that left-handed hitter and does again a nice job. Don't pull an outside pitch. You're just going to ground into double play. Take left field. There's base hits out there too.
So here's Rivera. Rivera has reached in 3 of 4 plate appearances. Walked his last time up. Has a single and a double. Doesn't pull the trigger on that. And you are 3 or 4 batters away from feeling any bit of nervous about this if you're St. Francis. And Marian has stranded 11 runners on the base pass today. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, it goes back to that timely hitting. You know, a lot of kids can hit when the score is 11-1 either way. You know, there's no pressure. You get up there, you just take a big rip at it. But when there's runners in scoring position and you're in the 7th or 8th inning, things are a little different.
Outfield straight away here for the cleanup man in Rivera. He went fishing on that one, got fooled on that pitch. Count it 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's an example, and you'll see hitters do it even at the big league level, where he kind of made his mind up. I'm going to swing at this,
right,
regardless of where it is. Right, I'm going to try to get a bat on it.
Missed high. Full count now. And the 1 run allowed by St. Francis pitching is on Kent. That was back in his first inning in the 6th. Ground ball, foul ball. We'll do it again at 3-2.
Rivera doing a nice job of making Kent work for it. He's already thrown a ton of pitches, and now you're just adding to that count.
Strike 3 called. Rivera. Caught looking at that one, and Marian down to a final out.
Well, you know, earlier in that at bat, Rivera kind of took that pitch. It was right down the heart of the plate, but it was up. It was a little bit high. And that time Kent did. He brought it down just enough that the home plate umpire said, that's what I'm looking for.
So Jackson Hogue, 3 strikeouts today. Fielder's choice as well.
And getting back to the consistency of the umpiring, Greg, that pitch up has been called a ball all day. That one was lower. It wasn't much lower, maybe 3 or 4 inches, but it was lower.
So on the outside corner for a strike. Lines this one past Valdez Sandoval into center field for a base hit. Salazar will come around to score, and no need to force the issue if you're Jones, knowing you need a handful more runs to get back in this one. But it's now 8-2. Give Hogue the RBI and his first base hit of the day.
A nice job of hitting, and then, like you said, really smart job. Again, going the other way. This is the third hitter in a row that's gone the other way with contact, minus the strikeout. But Marian maybe a little too late, but figuring out that, you know what, let's just take the ball where it's pitched.
For Hogue, it's his 18th RBI of the season. Davenport couldn't get that one off his shoe tops. 0-1 the count.
Again, I used to say it all the time. There's base hits from left field line to right field line. They don't all have to go one side or the other.
And the Knights down to a final strike. Davenport also has the hat trick tonight, unfortunately, with 3 strikeouts and a ground ball to second base. Popped it up. Second baseman drifting back, center fielder coming in. Valdez Sandoval calls, catches, and this one is over. Took a little less than 2.5 hours to play. 8-2 the final score. Again, David Miller, the story, homered in 3 consecutive at-bats for St. Francis, driving in 5. And the winning pitcher is Darren Swanson. The loser is Marian ace Damian Wallace. Jim, quick final thoughts on this one.
Well, obviously, again, David Miller's an easy one, but I thought the pitching by Swanson and Kent was impressive as well. Did a nice job of keeping Marian either off balance, just enough to get the win.
Stay with us. Game number 2 in about 25 minutes here on the ISC Sports Network.
This is the Pepsi for America's best barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.